Welcome to the Referrals Podcast, the show designed to help everyone from the solopreneur to the Fortune 500 company win the referral game. If you want to build a company with an army of ambassadors and raving fans who speak highly of you and refer you willingly, you are in the right place. Let's meet your hosts, Chris Angel and Michael Maher.
Welcome back, everybody. It's another episode of the Referrals Podcast. I'm your co-host, Chris Angel. Here with your host, as always, Michael J. Maher, and our guest today, Pauly. Pauly, do I say Domenech?
Domenech.
Dominating the niche.
Ooh.
Michael, that was almost like one of your little word plays there.
Domenech is an abbreviation for dominating a niche. I love it. Come on.
Yeah, come on. You're wearing off on me. Man. That's awesome. Well, listen, Pauly, you are coming to us on location today. Like, just give us, like, where are you right now? You're in a car. Where are you?
Yeah, so I'm in my service truck for Labor Day, and what we had done was one of my guys that is deployed over in Korea decided to sell his house, and he had some renters in it that really didn't do anything to the yard. So we're out there helping him just get the whole yard done while he's overseas. We're pulling weeds, we're laying mulch, we're removing rock, we're putting rock back down, we're pressure washing, we're doing all that stuff for him so that we can get his house on the market and he can get the best value for his home.
Wow.
And have it on the market for the 4th of July. So
And here's the deal. It's not Labor Day, right? It's not September 7th or 8th or 9th or the first Monday of September, right? Labor Day. When is Labor Day for you?
Labor Days are normally on Thursdays, but we didn't get the job done yesterday. So we continued to do what we had to do early in the morning just to get it done before we had our office work. And we still got a little bit more to do. All together in total, we've already laid 60 bags of mulch and 80 bags of rock. And we still need to go get about another 60 bags and another of mulch and about another 40 bags of rocks. So you could understand. Here's my my little war.
Nice
badge. That's your tattoo. That is your war badge, baby. Wear it with pride.
That's right. So I'm going in.
We? Paul, you keep saying we. Who's we?
We is my my group. So I've got Josh Colbert, Erica Turner, and Shane Manji, and Erica is my transaction partner. Josh is my buyer's advocate, and Shane is our customer resource manager. And that's what creates the team for the Domenech group. But the group
is your realtor doing this, right? Yeah. Is your realtor out there laying 60 bags of mulch and 80 bags of rock? I mean, you're doing this for a veteran who's overseas, who's getting ready to sell a property through you, right? And you know how important curb appeal is, and it needed to be done. You could have hired it out. You could have had him hire it out, but you did it, right? You just knocked it out because you know what you want it to look like, and when you're done, it's going to sell for $20,000, $30,000 more, right?
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love it. Lead with generosity, brother. Lead with generosity.
I saw, sorry, Paul, I saw you got like the Jim Jackson Award for customer service. Is this part of that? Like, is this what you've been, like, people are noticing that you're doing? They're like, oh my God, he's like putting mulch out on people's yards.
Yeah, I guess it doesn't necessarily come with my service. It's just what we do. The Jim Jackson Award is more along the lines of customer service during the transaction and what we do to make sure the transaction happens. Yeah. But this is that cherry on top that we do. But this is more for us as trying to keep us in touch with the reality of real estate. It's not just putting a listing on the internet and selling somebody a house. This is something that changes people's lives. So this is how I keep my team grounded with what we are doing. So we take pride in the properties that we're selling as well. So we know what we're dealing with rather than just going out there and writing a cute description and being at the house once. We fall in love with the projects, that we do. So when we're promoting it, we're passionate about it because we know the effort that we put into it and we know the quality that's there.
Here's the other thing. You're creating a talk about. right? I mean, we talk about talkabouts, right? And talkabouts are, what are your clients talking about? Or what would the news talk about when it comes to your business? You're arming your army of ambassadors with a talkabout, which is they talk about, oh my gosh, he laid 60 bags of mulch and bought 80 bags of stone and rock and put it around my house. And it's a talkabout. And not only was it Pauly, it was the entire team who came out, right? And the question becomes with everybody with their service is, where's the talkabout in your service? For us, it was housewarming parties, right? Housewarming parties were the thing that everybody talked about, and we gave it, it was based in generosity, and people talked about it all the time. And, there's a lot of agents out here who have shoveled the drive or mowed the grass, there's a lot of agents who go above and beyond for the listing and things like that. But it's like, how can you even go above and beyond even more than that, right? So that's a great example of leading with generosity, right? And giving your clientele, giving the people around you. And the thing is, it's not just your clientele. The neighbors are going to talk about it too.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Totally. Pauly, can you frame this for us in terms of give some backstory on your team? How many transactions are you doing? What's kind of been the growth? Give me some of that really quick.
Okay. So in my first year, I was single agent. I did 45 transactions, but my first 6 months, I had only done 3.
Wow. Crazy.
So it was, that time I spent my time positioning I spent my time helping people so that there was what I like to call inspiring the hire, which is to talk about the same thing. Mm-hmm. So people would talk about me and see me out there. Mm-hmm. The second year as a single agent, I ended up doing 76 transactions, and that was $14.2 million. Yep. And then my third year, I had an assistant, and I did 86 transactions, $21 million. And right now with my team, I have a transaction partner. She's not really that much of a rainmaker, but she is an asset as far as an agent and has some deals going. So the way that I've thought about and the way that I structured my team was I brought her in. She was a teacher. She was really good at the paperwork. So I said, hey, you just do the paperwork side of this deal, and then we will learn together, and I'll teach you while we're going through all of these transactions. So she's learning so much because she's handling my transactions. I have a buyer's, who I call a buyer's advocate, and he's not a buyer's agent. All his job is actually to show people. Mm-hmm. He shows the houses. He doesn't write contracts. When it comes down to the contracts, it goes to me. So we kind of have an assembly line going. So if I get a buyer, I give him to Josh. Josh shows him the houses. If they like something, he calls me. I write the contract. We get it under contract. It goes to Erica. That allows Josh to actually show multiple people without having to say, oh, I'm sorry, I've got to write this offer up. Or without people with the inventory that it is right now, without him losing an opportunity because he has to show 3 other people before the contract gets in. Yep. So he can show John, and then as soon as John is done showing, if John likes something, he calls me, and then he can go show Mike. And
so good.
I love it.
It's so good.
Because it comes with from me. Now, I pay them salary.
On your transactions, first year, real quick, transactions and volume.
First year transactions and volume was 8.2 million.
Second year
was 76 and 14.6 million, I believe.
Third year
was 86 and 21 million.
Are you going to do 100 transactions this year in your fourth year?
Yeah, I'm going to do 125 transactions, and I'm going to do at least $32 million with a brand new team. And the contribution that my team, besides me, will bring will be about 10 of those transactions will be from them. The other 115 will be straight from me.
You make real estate sound easy.
I know, right?
It is.
It isn't easy, is it? What is it, Pauly?
It's the referrals. It's the referrals. It's going.
Oh my God, you're saying that for me.
I'm telling you.
Not easy, right? It's what? What is it?
Tee it up.
I'll tee it up. It's positioning yourself. Positioning yourself.
God, what do I got to do here? I got to put it on a tee for you? I just threw you a softball. It's not easy. It's what?
It's simple.
Boom! I'm telling you.
Yes, it's simple. I got it. It's simple. It's very simple.
It's all of what you just said, but
all that.
I mean, Einstein said, make everything as simple as possible, but not simpler, right? So it's like E equals MC squared. That's pretty dang simple. You have really made real estate not easy, but simple. Like people go, well, losing weight, right? It's not. It's not easy. They might say it's not easy, or they might go, well, it's not that simple. Well, yeah, it is. Losing weight is move more, eat less. It doesn't get much simpler than that equation. What's hard? We didn't say it wasn't hard. We said it was simple, right? And now you put your hard work to the simple process, and you have an acronym that you let guide your life. Simple, yes? And it's guided your business to inordinate. I mean, phenomenal.
Crazy
success.
Good, yeah.
So let's go through simple. What's the S stand for? Real quick. Don't explain it. Just tell me what it is.
Simple stands for the story. The story.
What's the I?
The I stands for inspire the hire.
Yeah. What's the M?
The M stands for mindset.
Of course. P.
P stands for proximity.
No way. People are important. I love it. L.
Stands for lead.
Lead with what?
Lead with generosity.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you say lead with generosity? And then what's the E? What's the E?
And E is straight up execute.
Nothing happens without action, right? So go through those, each of them, and just fill us in on how this guides your life, right? How's your story? What is the story? I mean, if you're gonna everybody has a story, right? So what's the story about story?
The story is, what is the story that people are telling you when you hear something or you say something and you're inspired and you give an idea to somebody and somebody says it's not that easy? You know what? That's the story that they're telling you. Better yet.
Oh, wait. Weight loss, right? When somebody says it's not that easy, it's not that simple. What they're really saying is, I can't do it. I have an excuse, right?
That's right. And then it goes even more so deeper into what's the story you're telling yourself? Are you believing that? Are you believing what they're saying, that it's not that simple?
Like when you travel, you're going to gain weight. I told myself that. I mean, everybody's like, oh, you travel so much, it must be hard to stay. And you know what? I fed into that. And then I gained 30, 40 pounds. And they were like, oh, it must be so. They gave me an excuse. And I was giving the excuse to myself. But then I discovered, you know what? You can lose weight going out of town. I just went to Texas and spoke and lost weight, right? I've changed the story around travel. You know what? If I eat healthy and I try to get a workout in, then guess what? I move more, eat less. Wow. I actually lost 3 pounds while I'm out of town. When I traveled, I lost weight, right? So when I travel, I lose weight. I changed my story.
Change the story.
Right? So inspire me to hire you. What do you mean by inspire to hire?
So inspire the hire is, tell stories, tell compelling stories, do compelling things, go above and beyond. Like me right now, the story of that I've laid over 60 bags of rock and
show that thumb, show that badge. You got a badge of above and beyond. Show it. Show it. I want to see it. I see my thumb. My thumb looks like I've never done any hard labor in my life. Look how smooth my thumb is. And then you got roughage, right? You got a badge.
That's something that I could do. And it's not a matter of laying the mulch. It's not a matter of doing that. Maybe it's a matter of somebody's feeling sick and you're bringing them soup, or maybe it's somebody's caught at work and you help pick up their kid. Something that just you could tell a story that people would be inspired by through your kindness and say, you know what, like, that was awesome. He didn't have to do that, and he did. And that's the type of person that he is. You know what? That's the type of person that I want protecting my asset and protecting me, because this is the most important decision that I'm going to make in my life that's going to affect my family and my children. Selling a home is like picking a doctor. It can affect your life dramatically if you make the wrong decision.
Let's get ready for referrals. In the red corner, we have the average agent working by advertising, learning on the fly, no systems, no profit, and no clients. And in the blue corner, we have what could be you, the profitable agent working by referral, loving life and loving their clients. Take your business to the next level and go to www.callwithcoach.com and set up your free referral coaching session. Go now, change your business forever. www.callwithcoach.com.
So talk about real quick, Inspire to Hire. Talk about one of your very first listings had an empty house, and people were commenting that this house is empty and it wasn't selling. What did Pauly Domenech do to help with that house?
Pauly, well, I went out and I actually bought some furniture, and it wasn't a matter of them even saying that it wasn't selling. There was just other options that happened to pop up on the market at that time, and my buyer had the intention of buying first and selling and floating the mortgage for a few months, and it was not a problem at that point because nobody was on the market. But then a lot of other houses in the neighborhood came on the market. So I sat there and I racked my brain. What could I do to help them? Dropping the price was not a strategy because I always priced the home right. I never, ever overpriced the listing. So I thought about it and I said, you know what? I got to stage this house. So my first year, I had very limited funds. So I went to Bed Bath & Beyond. I got some furniture from another listing that I had sold that an owner had said, hey, you could clean it out. You could keep it. I used that to stage the bedrooms. I spent $500 over at Bed Bath & Beyond.
Where else did you take furniture from?
This is what happened. I ended up
your own house.
Yeah, I staged everything, and I turned around and didn't have enough for the living room. So I actually ended up pulling my own living room set out to stage the house, and I sat on a stool for 2 weeks. I did 3 open houses a week, and I ended up finding the buyer for that home at the 6th open house, sold the house, and I got my furniture back. Because that's the point where I believe that, listen, I cannot be comfortable if I am not doing every single thing possible for my clients to sell their house. I should be the first one that is uncomfortable in a situation before my client even starts to feel any kind of pain. And that is how you inspire people.
That's right.
That's savage.
I tell you, I mean, some people will give you the shirt off their back. Some people won't even give you the shirt off their back. Pauly's not even giving the shirt off. He's giving the furniture out of his house. He literally lived in a house that was empty except for 3 bar stools. He literally ate breakfast, lunch, and dinner at a bar stool in his own home. All the rest of his furniture was in that house, and it became a talk about. In fact, people still talk about it to this day. In fact, we're talking about it today. Yeah. So so that's the Inspire to Hire. So let's talk about the
video on that.
We know a lot about mindset, right? So what about mindset? What do we need to do about mindset?
Well, mindset is really in this business, it was very difficult when you don't get the listing or the buyer doesn't buy with you and goes to somebody else. It really can drag you down. And when you get into that mindset, it's just a vicious cycle. So it's what I say, it's kill the lizard before it turns into a Godzilla, right? Because at one point in time, Godzilla was a little lizard. It wasn't this massive thing. And in your mind, you could turn things into some things that are bigger than what they actually are. So if somebody says no and moves on, you don't hang on to that. And that was a big thing in the beginning that I was dealing with. I was taking it personally. And it would ruin the rest of my day. It would ruin my week. I'd go for $1 million listing. I didn't get it. And it almost ruined like my month because I was like, oh, that was it. So I ended up figuring out that what I have to do is shorten the time that I dwell on the negative outcomes. That's and right. The negative outcomes are actually learning opportunities. Mm-hmm. So now those are what I called golden moments. When somebody turns me down or I don't do something correctly, I reflect on it. I look at what it is. I tighten. Now my business, I am grateful to have this tight line that, listen, I'm looking for those golden moments now, right? Because I've taken so many shots and so many stabs and at 99 times, but now I've tightened it up to where there's very little that I can deal with because I handle all of what they call objections are really truly questions that you didn't answer during your presentation.
That's right.
So I've tightened up my presentation to answer every single question in a very short amount of time.
And the mindset of a champion, right?
Marketing.
You have that night. That night, right? You lose a game, you get to dwell on it until midnight, right? The next day is the next day, is the next opportunity. Get over it quickly. You're exactly right. A lot of professionals, a lot of salespeople just dwell on it and they're like, I'm a loser, but you're not a loser. You just lost one, right? Yeah. So how about P for proximity? What do you mean by proximity is power?
Oh, this is an important one. You've got to make sure that you're surrounding yourself with people that inspire you, including your clients and the people that you work with. If they've got this negative Nancy attitude and they think that they know what the market is and you've done your homework and you know where it needs to be and they just don't want to budge, you got to let it go. You have to let it go or it will drag you down. See, these are the people that are taking out of your cup. When you think about your cup, is it half empty or is it half full? Here's the thing. If it's half empty or it's half full, maybe your cup is too big. Let's get a smaller cup. Make sure it's filled. And how you make a bigger cup is that you make it overflow. And as it overflows. Is it
half empty or is it half full? I'm going to tell you something. It is 100% full. It's half full of water and half full of air, baby. It's 100% full all the time. My cup is full. It runneth over.
Yes. So the proximity part is you got to make sure that you have people that are filling your cup up constantly, because if you're not full, you cannot truly give. You cannot give without any kind of intention. So you have to make sure that you're surrounded yourself with people that are filling you up so much that you could give from your saucer, because you're overflowing.
Let's talk lead,
man. This is it right here. You got to lead with generosity. You got to lead with abundance. You got to lead.
That'll never work. Come on, Pauly. That'll never work. Leading with generosity. You mean I got to give? I don't have anything to give. I can't lead with. How do I lead with generosity?
Hey, listen, by just being a good human being, by just giving whenever you can, opening the door.
But I'm not a good human being. I'm an ugly. I'm awful. I'm horrible.
That's the story you're telling yourself. Somebody told you that story. You got to squash that limiting belief. You got to squash that limiting belief, because listen, there's something that you can do today that will change your life with one decision. And if you believe that you're that person, there's something in your mind that's blocking you from changing. And you've got to find that. You've got to find that. And here's the biggest thing with story and proximity and being a leader, you're going to be called a hypocrite. You're going to be called a hypocrite at some point in time, because that's what happens when you change. People don't believe you when you change. It happens, but you just have to stay on it. And you've got to make sure that you're not surrounding yourself with those people that are telling you, oh, I remember you from the past. When you choose to make that decision and that choice, you stick with it. You've got to make sure that the people around you aren't telling you, oh, you know what? I remember who you were. This is not who you are. And you've got to remember, you got to know your story, because that's the story that they're telling you, and that will breed doubt. So you've got to cut them out.
All right, brother, bring it home. What's the E? What's the E? All of this doesn't move. I'm not moved yet. What do I got to do?
You've got to execute. You've got to take massive action to whatever you are doing. Listen, it only takes one domino to fall to start the whole chain reaction. We are all destined for greatness. You've got to find the one thing that you can do today that you know you should be doing, but you're not doing. Knock that over and change your life. It is possible. I've done it. I am here. I don't have anybody in real estate. Nobody helped me. I didn't join a team. Nobody believed in me in the beginning. And I just did it because I believed in myself. And I knew that people needed help, and they needed somebody that was going to have integrity through and through, no matter what. And I made it happen.
So good. So good.
So good. So simple story, inspire to hire, mindset, proximity, lead with generosity, execute. It is simple. That should be on a poster somewhere. That should be up in everybody's office. What do you think?
I actually have one.
Let's make it happen. They can
I got
download
one
it.
for you.
I
We
love it.
got it. Chris,
I got it already.
No.
All you got to do is contact us. I got you.
That's
Chris
it, man.
is
We're
gonna
gonna.
bring
That is today's download. If you guys want to get that download, you can go to referralspodcast.com. Pauly's sharing that with us there. Pauly, thank you for that. Now, if people want to reach out to you because they're inspired by the kind of work you do, they have a referral for you, or they just want to be savage like you, how do people connect with Pauly?
You can reach me at itspauly.com, ITSPAULY.com, or you can just give me a call, 850-543-1418. Shoot me a text if you have a referral. I live in beautiful Destin. I handle all of the Panhandle, and I've got you covered. Listen, real estate's not easy, but it's simple. And all you've got to do is if you've got a referral, call me. I'll make it simple, and I'll give you 25%. Pow. Let's make it happen.
Love
That's
it.
easy.
Love it.
Good
Bang.
stuff,
Simple.
Close it off, Chris Angel.
That's it. That's it. That's it. That's how we close it. That's how we wrap it. Pauly, thanks for being on the episode today. Michael, as always, thank you for bringing such great guests to the show. Today's episode is actually sponsored by Referrals Magazine. If you guys don't have a copy of Referrals Magazine, make sure you get that. You can learn more at referralsmagazine.com. Yes?
Yes.
You have the best domain names, Michael. All right, gang. Well, that's it for that's a wrap on another great episode of Referrals Podcast. Until next time, take care, gentlemen, and see ya.
Later.